go ahead and get into the next match of the day. It's G2 going up against FlyQuest with the commentary is Shogun and Final Carpet.
The age-old story of Cosmic Aftershock. Sad Jr. and Kronovi playing, Gibbs watching.
Age-old, definitely on the old part, particularly when Gibbs is involved. And
Such a dad,
I don't know how I feel about the nickname J Knapsack.
No, I'm not.
Knapsack doesn't sound like a compliment, man.
It does not. I mean, his actual last name is Knapman.
Yeah.
Could you not? J Knapman sounds pretty good.
You'd probably pronounce it Knapman. I don't think you're like Knapman. Like I don't.
Yeah, but if you want to make it like a little street name or something like that.
Yeah, a street.
I'm sorry, we're trying to turn something good out of something awful that Gibbs gave to us.
J Knapsack. I'm sure he really, he's putting that on all of his backpacks at school.
This backpack is lost. Please return it to J Knapsack. Thanks, Mom. Anyway, we've got a series. It's actually quite an important one. Now it's going to be a long shot automatically played Rizzo. Going to be playing in that breakout this week. Those flat cars used to They need to make something of this, especially with time running out. It's going to be forcing some players to move. Rizzo has to try and correct himself in time, and he does get there. Now they're going to try and play it away, but Corrupted G, he's going to come in for yet another shot. Don't let Corrupted G shoot, boys. We've already seen how lethal he can be.
Out to Sad. Oh, we try to put it under Rizzo. They've had so much control here. FlyQuest having to get more creative every single drive. There
Looks like
we
they're
go.
finally to do it, and they have done so. 2-1. And FlyQuest are going to start making G2 sweat. What can they do in the final 80 seconds?
Now, I thought JNaps was struggling for boost, but he had 85 boost when that was going towards the ceiling. So when Chrome came across to try and hit that towards the ceiling, that would have been on JNaps to understand he needs to now get up to contest that in case Chad Jr. is there for it. So it could have been a bit of a miscommunication there. Oh, and speaking of miscommunication, all right, well, hello.
Miscommunication, mistouch. Either way you look at it, it is an open net. Chrome.
Oh.
Lovely set.
Those are
If
tough.
that was
man.
volleyball, that would be really good.
That would be phenomenal. Those are tough. Those are tough for Chrome, but it is a situation where you need to have a plan for kickoff. You need to understand where you're going, who's in corner, where you're going to, as someone that goes for the face-off, where are you trying to place it? Are you trying to place it in their half, in your half? You try and control it as much as you can to reduce as much statistical, I don't know, reactions. You just kind of go for the more predictive situation.
There's a bunch of different situations that can come out from kickoffs. They've actually been quite regularly scored in North America so far this season. So that's going to be... Okay, Rizzo. That was a bit of a trick save right there. He's going to try and flick that one straight up. That's going to go in. That is a doink. Gibbs, #1 play right there.
Are you going to... Do you have tally mark for how many have been placed? Oh, that was clean. Oh, that is so clean.
It's a thing of beauty right there, isn't it, Carpet?
When you're watching a player, I mean, it is. I got to agree with you first before I continue on with that. But when you're watching a player approach a ball, you are oftentimes trying to read, okay, what angle is he coming from? How much momentum does he have? And where can he shoot this? Which is what also makes doinks threatening in their own right. Is when you see Rizzo planted underneath it, you assume, yeah, I mean, at most he can maybe hit it towards the ceiling or pop it up. But if they get that perfect timing, you end up with a shot like that, and you watch all defenders trying to react as quickly as possible, just not prepared.
The best way to describe a doink to those of you out there is effectively a booster. You're not necessarily going to change the trajectory of the ball, but you are going to speed it up by an awful lot. Now Rizzo making the best use of that breakout.
You essentially become like the booster seat. Like imagine the ball is your child, and it's having, you know, it needs to eat its dinner, but the table's too tall. So you give it a little booster seat right into goal.
I'm only 21, Carp.
Totally.
I don't want to be thinking about kids just yet.
Oh, I was calling you the baby.
Oh, I'm a big baby.
So is Gibbs.
Got my little chubby cheeks going on. They will never go away. I can do whatever I want.
That's
They
what
are
makes you
gonna
so
stay there.
cute, Shogun!
I'm so adorable.
All right, let's talk about the game at hand. Looks like G2 really turned it around after going down by 2 goals in the first game. Now 4-1. They really had a lot of control in that. They seem to be shortening up their passes a bit so the FlyQuest can't, you know, kind of weasel their way in between them all, because that's usually what happens when you're relying too much on those really hard cheating plays where you leave someone up in the cherry pick position, go for the redirect. If you're too far apart, the other team's just going to read it, right? They're going to beat you to it. But if you close those passes up just a little bit, just shorten them up, you're friends, get closer, it's all good. You don't have to be scared of each other. But if you can shorten those passes up, it makes it a lot more difficult for teams like FlyQuest to get in the way.
Certainly is, but the one thing I do really like there from G2 is the fact that they have pulled those passes back a little bit as well. If you do them too close to your opponent's end, especially if they're doing what FlyQuest is doing, which is holding defenders on the goal line, you just go, cool, I've got 100 boost. I'm just going to move forward and try and block it. If you're a little bit further back, though, makes it a lot harder to go for. You can try and challenge it, but you're usually just pulled out as just a diving defender, hoping for the best, really. But once it gets pulled out like that, so much easier to start looking for areas to pass to as well. And because FlyQuest have got those players sitting on the goal line, it's a lot harder to react.
Yeah.
It is so much harder to react because you want to keep in motion at all times in Rocket League.
And not just that, but as the passing team, you're giving yourself so many more options when you take it from the mid, right? Now I can either pop it over to a defender, I can take it right into him for a dribble, I can pass it to a teammate, right? So you have a lot more chances of manipulating the field when you keep it further away from them, as opposed to just, here's another 50-50, let's hope it doesn't go too crazy.
I love how me and you are sat here preaching passing plays when I don't think I ever pass whenever I play. I don't trust anyone. I can do it better than everyone else.
That's the Shogun I know and love.
Hey, you wouldn't have it any other way. Especially if I'm playing with you and Wave. Got to do a lot of work in those
Understandable.
games.
Understandable.
It's game number 3 here. G2 eSports leveling up the series against FlyQuest. Now they want to try and take this into 2-1, whilst FlyQuest want to try and stem the bleeding and find themselves a new strategy, because I don't think the old one's going to work anymore. They need to start moving themselves forward. Here's Corrupted G. Oh my goodness! Corrupted!
No, not just that, but look at how far Sad Jr. came off the wall for this, straight down to Corrupted. Oh, Rizzo, what do? You're nothing. You watch and you learn. Corrupted G, absolutely beautiful play from him.
You've been sacked, Carpe. It is now Corrupted's classroom, and we are all but mere students. What a play that was. FlyQuest, if there's ever a way of getting away from what was a poor game 2 for them, that is it. Now Corrupted continuing, try and control the ball down the other end of the pitch. Rizzo in that backline, he's going to have to try and deal with what was effectively a ball give up there from FlyQuest, trying to go for a passing play that was never going to work out. We're going to be trying to look for those awkward parts off the wall. G2 settling themselves up. They've controlled those 2 mid boosts. FlyQuest have to try and get themselves a way out. It's going to be hard for them to continue this pressure, but Kronovi is struggling, allowing Chrome time to move forward, get this challenge. Now FlyQuest have an opportunity, but a big demo there on Sad Jr. will release the tightness of that rotation, give G2 an opportunity to move down to the upper end, but still, long balls being played. One of the more end-to-end style of games that we've seen. Rizzo, he gave it a shot. So Kronovi putting that one down, but Chrome back over into the corner. 2 minutes down in this game, and still Corrupted G has been the difference maker so far, as Corrupted tries to get the flick. Couldn't quite get it. He wanted it with the rear end of the car, but physics said no.
Bit of a panic defense there for the last 30 seconds on FlyQuest. Chrome getting in just a second too early, but it did work out. Thank God he probably called Chrome off that, or he saw him coming for it. And he's been doing it. Oh, what? Chrome! That's the 50. That's a Fireburner 50-50 if I've ever seen one.
Chrome moves forward, puts it, and here's Kronovi slap! Ball into the net.
The delayed jump, waiting perfectly, knowing that Kronovi had no choice but to try and put it up, aiming for the hard clear. That's when you kind of condition your opponents. They were conditioning G2 to go for those clears and the passes. They'd been reading it. Chrome knew that's what Kronovi's choice was going to be. Slams it in for the goal. That is, almost 3-0 for that one.
And something that's becoming quite regular as well. Kronovi struggling earlier on in the game in the corner where Chrome came in for the challenge. Looks like maybe Chrome might have Crow's number, at least on the defensive end. We'll see as this series continues to progress. Much better from Chrome this week. He was struggling a lot in FlyQuest's debut games last weekend. He's really stepping up, but G2 not over yet. They can make this.
Credit guys go to this pass to from Kronovi. That was beautifully done, placed in the corner, and it's always so hard to know how intentional those are. You smack it to the corner, and sometimes it bounces as great as possible. Sometimes it clears straight over net. But either way, I know that was Kronovi's angle was to try and hit the corner and cross net, and it worked out for them. But they still have a goal to tie this up with 2 minutes. That's not too daunting for G2.
Those corners can be very hard to predict, but you also know if you do hit them, they are very hard to predict. And that is a problem for both you and the defender. Exactly. Yeah. G2 trying to find a way. Kronovi recognizing that that was not his. As Rizzo puts that set up for JNaps. JNaps puts that one down, but it's a bouncing shot. Corrupted's actually lunged towards it. Still JNaps is available in the offense as Rizzo is too close.
Now you can actually see G2's pace is really starting to pick up, especially when they're on offense. FlyQuest really struggling to clear it out at all. Not even one touch clears. Oh, this is going to be an easy goal for JNaps.
Tap that one straight in. We are now all tied up. A minute remaining.
Yeah,
FlyQuest don't want to drop this.
Sad Jr. and Chrome both trying their best to be one step ahead, but just about a card length away for each of them. And the last offender will get caught out, and G2 will tie this up.
Dropping a 1-goal game is not necessarily something to be too worried about. Dropping a game where you were 2 goals in the lead, been less and less probable as the RLCS has got bigger of age.
Chrome, that actually would have been insane.
He's trying his hardest. There's going to be another shot there, and Corrupted G settling that one into the net. Important net for FlyQuest as they continue to pressure G2, and they want to take this third game.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, even just that pressure from Chrome being up there, Kronovi had the clear to the corner, and Chrome kept it mid, which means it pulled out a goalie, and he wasn't able to get there in time, and then it had to pull out a second goalie, but by then Corrupted G was so far ahead of him, he was able to place it around him. So, you know, a lot of that has to go to Chrome on that insane pressure from the backboard.
Crow to the corner, looking for JNaps. They're going to go for two-player plays to try and get out of the defense, and this is exactly what it does. You force players to come in and try and challenge you. Gives you so much extra space to work with. Dangerous there from JNaps, but if there's anyone you would trust, it would be the Canadian. Crow off that top. G2 need to find a way of breaking down FlyQuest, who are holding two players in the net. I doubt that backboard's going to work now. You're going to have to try and go for a passing infield play. There's Rizzo. Got a lot of power on that as well. JNap's going to have to try and get up there first. He has done so. That is such an awkward bounce. It's an unfortunate bounce as well for G2, but they can still make something of this. Rizzo wanted to just flail and try and maybe get something. But if this ball touches the floor, then it is going to be game number 3 and match point to FlyQuest.
This has got to be a bit of an upset, I believe. Now, you know, going into this series, we hadn't seen much of G2 at all, so it's really hard to predict which G2 we're going to see. And I know when I was doing the pick'ems, I'm actually not lying, I totally forget what I do for pick'ems every time. I don't know what I did this morning, to be honest. And honestly, I did like 30 minutes before we even started, so I'm an absolute mess. But, you know, going into it, I didn't know which G2 we were going to see because we haven't seen them much this season. And I know that FlyQuest is the team, or at least the type of team, that doesn't go down early. They don't just roll over, right? We've seen Sad Jr. every single LAN, right? No matter how quiet he's seemed all season, he still makes it because he will always fight to make sure he's there because he understands his skill, and it's just a matter of making sure he can execute from week to week.
And this is going to be so important as well. FlyQuest looking to avoid a potential relegation battle down at the bottom. A win here could be absolutely massive, especially when they take on Renegades later on today. So a win for G2 is big for them, but also on the side of G2, they need to avoid playoffs. They have the scars of last season against this team.
And the season before.
And the season before. They will want... They'll want to avoid it at all costs, is what we're trying to get across here. But a loss here makes it so much more difficult, especially with Cloud9 being undefeated right now, and you'd expect NRG to pick themselves back up.
And I don't know what it is. I feel like whenever we see G2 come into a series, it feels like they're spending most of the series trying to figure out how to play against their opponents, as opposed to studying up, getting ready, making sure they're getting scrims against similar playstyle teams and coming prepared for it. You'll see, you know, game 1 they tend to be a bit wobbly. Game 2 they really figure it out, and then something might fall apart and they struggle. But, you know, they do get the wins out eventually. But this isn't the struggle you'd expect to see from G2.
Is Sad Jr. and Corrupted about to do it again? Taking out G2 in the playoffs last season, and they could be on the verge of yet another win, taking Sad Jr. to 4 wins to 3 over his old Cosmic Aftershock buddy. Kronovi, as Rizzo going to play that one up high. A good start is going to be crucial here for G2 as they will try and wash out the bad taste in their mouth. After they managed to equal up a 2-goal game in the last one, and then had it pretty much snatched away almost immediately after they equaled it. So dangerous there. And here comes Corrupted. He's going to layer another one. How accurate is that man? Sad Jr. comes in and puts that one away.
This was just tight angle after tight angle, and you can see JNaps understanding he had to be in net, but that was still just too fast. And Sad Jr. reading the touch from Kronovi. There it is, head-to-head. I don't know, do you think Gibbs is going to have a favorite son after this one?
I think he's already got a favorite son.
I guess his real one, probably.
Yes, exactly. So FlyQuest taking advantage, and that's such a hard situation for G2 to read as well. You've usually already got yourself in a defensive position by that point, and you stop the car. Whilst on the other side, Sad Jr. is just staring at the net. He can run straight forward and do what he wants, but G2 have got to try and turn themselves around. So they're always going to be second best to that. Kronovi with the half flip. Got time, there's going to be no challenge coming in for a long period, but couldn't get himself down in time for the ball.
What a contest from Corrupted off the wall.
Seems like FlyQuest
Look at him go!
More and more comfortable as the series got along. Needed to try and find Chrome to put themselves 2-0. Sad Jr. looking for contact. Oh, that's going to be dangerous. It's an own goal.
I don't like talking about any of these kinds of goals. So his intention was to pinch. but he got there probably 1/5 of a second too late. And a pinch, it turned into an entirely own goal. He saw the threat. He knew if he let that go, he'd probably see a nasty double touch right in the net. But that's got to be a bit crushing. Still tied, though. And they are still a game up in the series. So they're in a comfortable spot, given the fact that was just a horrendous own goal.
Still plenty of time left to go, but that is soul crushing. JNAP's now pushing it over into the corner. Kronovi with the control. Couldn't quite get another block. Rizzo going to take his time. Looks to try and get there, but another individual carry. Something we've seen so often throughout this series. JNAPs and Rizzo come together for a whole lot of nothing. And now FlyQuest, the opportunity to move forward. JNAPs not getting the challenge. FlyQuest are winning everything.
They're so fast right now. They are not hesitating on a thing. They really understand whose ball is whose, and they know how to get up to beat up this G2 team.
Ooh, Crow, a bit more height on that, and that could have been a real test for the FlyQuest defense. Now it's FlyQuest back onto the offensive end. Kind of surprised that they're not trying to send a player to steal away the boost. They've now managed to get a hold of that one in the G2 back right-hand corner. It's going to slow down G2 quite a lot as well. There we are, there's the shadowing. Corrupted G's going to have an opportunity, tries to get the block, but it's going to be open. Shadowing is working for FlyQuest.
And on top of that, their contests. Every time Chrome has gone for any kind of contest, him and Corrupted G are just on fire right now. If there was a stat for 50-50s, I'm pretty sure FlyQuest would have 95% of them right now. But there it is, the shadowing really coming into play, putting on the pressure. FlyQuest up a goal and up a game in the series. Will they take this from G2?
I love the confidence there from Chrome as well. Got involved in one challenge, won it. Corrupted came over to take control, and then Chrome didn't go back. The option was there for Chrome to go back, bring in Sad Jr. onto the rotation, but he didn't.
Chrome just destroying Rizzo.
Oh, it could have been a much better shot.
Chrome was at Rizzo this whole time. He's bumping Rizzo now. Bumped him again, still underneath him, and finally Rizzo breaks free, but it's too late. Chrome, the ball was nowhere near net. I have no idea what made you think to do that. You had so much faith in Corrupted G. Rizzo has to be so tilted right now.
There was a reason why, for those of you at home, that was not shown on screen. Because it was in the corner, and it was gross.
That was like NSFW right there.
I know the NFL season is back in play, but that was a little bit too brutal, and FlyQuest are now 90 seconds away from a huge victory for themselves. So Kronovi has picked himself up a savior medal, probably the last thing he wants at this point in time. G2 gonna have to set up, but that's not gonna do anything. The only thing that those sort of plays are really gonna manage is a potential two-player pullout, and a demo almost opening up space.
Rizzo trying to get some vengeance, but they weren't able to get it in front of net quick enough.
There comes Rizzo. Very little boost, so we have to try and get a block. Crow with the ball off the backboard, and there is Sad Jr. holding onto that back wall. Now going to go the other end of the field. He's actually got opportunities to aim for Corrupted G. Hurdles over the ball. And now here comes JNAPs down to the other end of the pitch. Wins out the challenge in the air. Corrupted G has got an opportunity to try and play it, and it's going to be Sad Jr. up next. Slightly tense moment there for FlyQuest, who went end to end with the gameplay. But G2, they need something, and they need it quick. JNAPs takes an early shot. It is not anywhere near dangerous enough. Pass over to Rizzo. But FlyQuest challenging those midfield passes every single time. You can see them every single time, pulling the defenders into the net, turning themselves around, slingshotting into it, and there's going to be attempted double touch. Chrome, how confident has he got to be right now after the performance he's had in this series? And with 10 seconds remaining, unless G2 can do something right here. Rizzo's got an opportunity, cannot quite do it. JNAPs had to try and stop himself. Shot on target. Chrome puts that one away. Here comes it.
What the bump?
Rizzo can't quite do that. There is 1 second remaining.
This is...
Oh, Rizzo, I feel so sorry for you this series.
Honestly, as far as performance goes from individuals, Chrome has had one of the best off-ball performances I've seen. Just in general, whenever he's not there, he's got so much presence. That bump on Rizzo, and that will be it. Shogun,
wow.
FlyQuest take G2 down 3-1 in the series. This is huge for them, and I don't even want to say G2 didn't perform. FlyQuest is insane right now.
FlyQuest had an answer for everything, just like we're about to show you right now. We have a replay of these bumps.
Look at how long it is. Oh.
It is just held down. That is a pin maneuver right there.
And that was exactly how long he needed. Rizzo still got touch on that, but it just wasn't a tight enough angle for him to get there. That is as tilting as it gets. I would not be surprised if Rizzo just muted his comms for the rest of the match and just tried not to scream his head off the entire time.
They've both got to play later. That's the big thing to happen right here.
Yep.
Later on, we've got G2 versus C9, and what might not anymore be as much of a big matchup now. If FlyQuest can beat Renegades later, they are going to be so comfortable potentially getting themselves a playoff spot if they can keep this going. That match was huge. That match was ridiculous. We're completely pooped over here. So Axel, Toss, over to you.
FlyQuest getting a victory there, a big one too, over G2, a 3-1 victory. Didn't even need 5 games to do it. They're going to be happy about that. And again, both these teams playing again today. Let's take a look at the Mobile One high-performance replay from that one as a bit of an upset, a lot of people would say.
And one thing we were saying was G2, we're not sure what to see from them. We haven't seen a lot yet this season. And it looks like it's just classic G2 once again. We see them strong sometimes, and we see them a little bit weak. It seemed like they couldn't create anything on the offensive end. There was no creativity like in their passes, besides very few in the first couple of games. But after that, like FlyQuest, they started doing those demo plays. Chrome is one of those great support players that you won't see on stats, where you start seeing lots of demos, lots of pushes. The one where he bumps Rizzo for like 10 bumps in a row, and there's not even a goal opportunity yet. Great play by him.
I mean, he made a lot of heads-up plays. You saw it in that dribble just there, too. Slowing it down, taking his time, and then forcing a 50-50 that allows Corrupted G to swoop in. Both of those, too. I know you have Corrupted G and Sad both in your fantasy, and you're just sitting over here like,
looking
okay,
smart now.
That's another assist and goal, and there's another one, and another one. And it just kept going over and over again. But Chrome, again, like, these bumps are just evil. Like, I don't think Rizzo even got to play that match. He was too busy getting bumped the whole time.
That's rough for him, but at the same time, we talk a lot about JNabs. He was relatively quiet this series, trying to pull out the Marauder, trying to pull a Sad Jr. move, who always likes to play different cars. Didn't work out in this series. We'll see if he switches back to Octane, but...
Let's talk about that, though, because next up we have Ghost versus Allegiance. But then the next 2 matches, the 2 matches that close out the day, involve both these 2 teams. FlyQuest playing against Renegades, G2 against Cloud9. That's what we're building up towards today. So starting with FlyQuest here, when you're looking forward to them against Renegades, what did you really like from them that they were able to fit together? Was it all Chrome and his crazy bumps, or what do they want to hold on to as they go into the next series that they play?
So it's like a team effort here. Chrome can go for those bumps, because right now he's trusting Corrupted with those shots. Corrupted was on target. Sad Jr. comes in, cleans up a lot of those plays as well. So it seemed like all 3 of them were working well. I want to see a little bit more out of Sad still. I think he was still relatively quiet here. But that's a huge win, because now they go into Renegades thinking like it's not necessarily a must-win now, but it will help a lot, obviously. But at least they have 1 under their belts now.
Yeah, for me, Sad actually made a couple good crucial plays that normally he plays like way overconfident up on offense when he goes for some of those contests, and he misses a lot of them. He was actually connecting with a lot of his touches. You saw how far he came off that wall to pass it down to Corrupted G.
Yeah.
Like the shots were on point, everybody was being involved, and that was the entire team's cohesion. Everybody got involved in those plays, and it made a huge difference for them to just all around the field outpace G2 in every aspect of the game.
And on the G2 side, let's say we're in the locker room right now, we're talking to this team. What's the conversation like going into this match against Cloud9 a little bit later? What do they need to hold on to from this match, and how do they keep it together as they have a very important match coming up?
They have to find creativity on the offensive end. They're not going to get a lot of opportunities versus Cloud9. Cloud9 is one of those high-pressure teams where they don't give you a lot of opportunities. They have to figure out a way to counter goals and try for those infield passes, which we barely saw any of. So they got to figure that out again. They have some time. They have 2 series off until they play. So they have about 2 hours to think about it. But that was a big win here for FlyQuest, because that was the first game of only 2 of today where it was an undefeated versus a winless, and FlyQuest gets the win to truncate those standings, so now everyone's a lot closer.
I mean, they got to console Rizzo. That boy just got abused that whole game. Like, they got to find somewhere to get him like a blankie and like a snack or something, because he needs a timeout, because he just got demolished that entire game. There's nothing he could do. But a lot of it was really stagnant play. They just got overwhelmed, and there was nothing they could do about it. So they need to pick up their pace a little bit. They got manhandled.
Cool. We'll figure out, we'll check back in with G2 and FlyQuest a little bit later, as again, they play in matches 5 and 6 later today. But coming up next, it's your 4th match of the day. We got Ghost. Has Lethamir returned? We're going to find out. They're going up against Allegiance as league play for week 3 of the Rocket League Championship Series continues here on twitch.tv/Rocket League. Stay tuned.